Hello, BookTube. I'm going to do something that's a little bit different. We've done one of these vinyl tours on this station, channel, whatever they're called. I'd like to do a little bit of time travel, and vinyl's always time traveling, or it was, making a bit of a comeback now. And I'd like to go back to the 1960s, when I was a young fella, being influenced by the culture around me. And part of that culture involved improvement, not maybe in the way we mean it nowadays. There were, for books, things like Will Durant's The Story of Philosophy. You'd have similar volumes on literature. Heinrich van Loon, The Arts. A lot of these types of things in the 50s and 60s where folks from a different cultural background or socioeconomic background were in a position to start engaging with culture in a different way, and they needed help. They needed guidance. And my family, a small hill farming Vermont family, was very, very much caught up in that movement. And that involved music. And in those days, that involved vinyl. So Time, Life magazine, Time magazine, those sorts of things were a big part of the media landscape. And one of the things they did, besides series of books, some of which I still love, was music. And one of the series they did, and I'd like to look at, and I'm hoping I can get through in one video, but if it goes on too long, and I'm already yabbering and we're 2 minutes in, it may go on too long. One of them was The Story of Great Music. And it would have started with advertisements in the big magazines. And then you may have gotten something in the mail. And it would have ended up with something like this, an introduction to the story of great music, the art and pleasure of listening to the realm of music, getting the most out of high fidelity. So the technology was changing, even in vinyl. Vinyl technology changed and improved. Sound improved. The equipment improved. The records improved. Just like a book made today is not made the same way it was 50 years ago. Modern books are high tech. Modern music, everything changes. So it would have looked something like this. It would have had catchy, tender hair raising, getting used to it, an assurance to the subscriber that yes, they could enjoy this music. Sounds and passions. So those of you who know that I'm struggling with Jacques Berzon's 2-volume biography of Hector Berlioz will get a kick out of this. The Art and Pleasure of Listening, Jacques Berzon. So these were public intellectuals, Jacques Berzon. This was an attempt, to even show you how to lay out your stereo, all that, to introduce Western art music. Halfway through the series, they would have gotten something like this. An interim index to the recordings, Time Life Recordings, New York. And this came out in 1969. Just an index. And eventually, when the series was complete, the subscriber would have gotten this. The Story of Great Music, an index to the recordings. This is hard volume. Okay. Small thing, not much bigger than my hand. Calendar of composers, quite nicely done. This came out in 1969 also, an index to the recordings. Very nice paper. That fabric-y type feeling paper. But it didn't stop here. And this is the difference between the digital age and the analog age. So I've laid out every one of the box sets that goes with this set. the LPs. And we're going to start, and it's called From the Renaissance, The Story of Great Music from the Renaissance. And it's got a piece of art from the period. It's a box set. Again, with box sets, always let the air pressure, let it drop. Otherwise, you're going to break the box, just like with books. And if you notice, these are not LPs. And I'm going to pop them out. The LPs are behind. The LPs are in sleeves that look like this. Okay. So this is the difference between an analog world and a digital world. I'm pulling out two books. And they both have a different purpose. Or a different function, same purpose. The purpose is to get you through the music with the background. The first is this large volume. Each one of these has this. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of them. It's a complete set. The Story of Great Music from the Renaissance, Time and Life. Okay. So this is just a guide, pretty good size. And you're going to be amazed. This is very beautifully illustrated. And it gives you a really nice amount of information. Look at this about the instruments. This is what came with a set of records. This is taking the cultural heritage to a step you won't, I mean, it's almost amazing to look at in our time, something like this. Monteverdi's Orfeo, a hit for 360 years. Palladian Symmetry. So you get art, architecture, music. You're putting this stuff in its context. Okay, beautiful book. You could use this writing a term paper. Okay. But alongside that is this. This is an odd looking thing, isn't it? Look at the shape. It's almost like a big old ruler. This is a listener's guide to the recordings. So it has each side of each of the albums in here. Each of the discs, excuse me. So there's 8 sides, 4 discs. So if I'm listening to side 2, I can pick which band I'm on. Side 2, band 2. Side 2, band 3. And it's going to tell me what's going on, and I can do that all the way through. So the music of the Renaissance, we have Ceremonial Music of Venice by Andrea and Giovanni Gabrieli, Elizabethan Songs and Dances, Books Tied, Lully, Palestrina, Monteverdi, Madrigals, Chansons, and instrumental music by Susato, Lassus, Frescobaldi, Casaldo, and Monteverdi, hymns and motets by Tallis, Lassus, and Bird, Schutz, the Christmas Oratorio, and Monteverdi. So you can sit there on the couch with this little thing, and you can do background with this. And you have your discs. So that's going to be true each of these albums. And in this case, the discs are all in immaculate condition because everybody who got this set didn't listen to it. It's just like human nature. Sometimes these were lined up on a shelf holding records, and when people came to your house, they thought you were listening to it. So the next one is the Baroque era. Isn't that beautiful? And again, we opened it up because I didn't go through these at first. Some of these are in the back. So we have the main volume, the Baroque era. And the books are really pretty. It's by Frederick V. Grunfeld and the editors of Time Life. It's got the art. We have the giants of the era for musicians, composers. And you remember, I will recognize Bach starts it off, but Corelli, Couperin, Handel, Purcell, Rameau, Scarlatti, Telemann, and Vivaldi. So all familiar stuff. Again, incredibly illustrated. So they're trying to get into the art, the architecture, the history. Excuse me. And then, when you're sitting in the recliner or on the couch, you've got your listener's guide to the recordings. In this case, Purcell, Telemann, Vivaldi, Bach, Corelli, Vivaldi again, Bach. In this case, a selection from St. Matthew's Passion. Handel, Messiah, which is selections. It's not the whole thing. Couperin, Rameau, Bach, who's Toccata and Fugue in D minor for organ. Scarlatti, and then another Bach, Brandenburg Concerto No. 2, and Handel's Water Music. So again, by band. So you're going by the side of the LP disc, and then what band it is, and the disc number. So that's the Baroque. And again, they should be placed in right next to each other. So. And then from the Baroque, we go to the Age of Elegance. And for books, this is green. Hopefully you can see that. Henry Anatole Grunwald and the editors again. This one's actually 1968. Very small print with my older eyes. The same themes going on. Art, architecture, history, tying everything together with the music. So this is really amazing. So we have another one of these fold outs. Trying to figure out how to do it without ruining it. In this case, Vienna. So you were to subscribe to this. And then some performance. So on the listener's guide, again green to match the, keep doing these upside down. So in this one we have Boccherini, Haydn, Gluck, Mozart, Haydn. You can see who has the influence. And again, multiple Mozarts, Beethoven, Symphony No. 1. And then Mozart, the final scene of Don Giovanni. Now, moving along, and I will have to split this in two. I don't want to overdo it. We have the Age of Revolution. And now I'll tell you why there's only the first of the Beethovens in this previous ones, because Beethoven's career spanned two eras, I guess. So we have the volume, and then we have the listener's guide. So the story of great music, the Age of Revolution. It's almost difficult to know which pages to show you because they're all just magnificent. And you can buy a record player at a Goodwill for almost nothing and order a new needle for it online and just clean it up a little bit. And a lot of these classical albums especially are just in great shape. So I'm going to stop it there. So we're going to make this a part 1 because I have 2, 4, 6, 7 to go. And I've done 4, but with a little bit of an introduction. So we'll call it a halt here. I'm going to try to post them both on the same day so that you can work your way through them if you'd like. So thank you, BookTube.